Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
We are currently 8 weeks away from the competition in Japan, but what you see right here is a miniature roll-on luggage. Why I have this, I'm going to explain it in a little bit, but first, let's talk about check-ins. So on the screen right now, this is my current physique. Weight in the morning didn't really shift much from the previous check-in. So 9 weeks out from the show, I was 85.2 kilos, but in this check-in, I was 85.0. No changes made to the plan again. I guess my coach wanted to kind of hold on to the current program and see whether things are running the way that it should. And if things don't continue to move, then we'll probably have to decrease calories even further. So I just trust the coach. I don't ask questions, I just execute. But in any case, calories still at 3,012 on training days. Rest days is still at 2,815 calories. We're still doing 30 minutes of fasted cardio every single morning, 10,000 steps on top of that. Alright, so now that is out of the way, we're back to the miniature roll-on luggage. So, why do I have this with me? Well, because tomorrow we are going to Malaysia to compete in the regionals. Yes, this is the very first competition that I'll be participating in for the year of 2026. Now, if you guys forgot, the regionals is a requirement for us to compete in any pro qualifier show across the world. So conveniently, this is held in Johor Bahru, which is just across the border from Singapore. So really excited about that. I'm going to be bringing this along with me, all the essentials. I'll take you through what exactly I'm bringing to the show and why. Okay, so the first thing that I am bringing with me is my weight scale. I won't be doing any kind of peaking for the show or whatnot. I'm just going to step onto stage and see what I got, because my goal is not to win, it's just to get my regional certificate. But that's it. I still run my plan like normal. I'm still doing my diet, I'm still doing my training, my cardio and everything, and I still need to keep track of my weight on a daily basis. So for that reason, I'm bringing the weight scale. But if let's say this was the actual competition that I'm going for, say the pro qualifiers, I will be weighing myself 1.5 hours after every single meal. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to bring along with me to Japan. And especially when I go backstage, this is something I have to carry with me, because we would have identified the weight at which I look the best at, and we want to make sure that we hover around that weight come backstage. Alright, the second item on the list. This is my shaver. Okay, this is the one blade. I got this in 2024 for my last competition in Taiwan and Thailand as well. But yeah, this one is to shave all the hairs across my body, including my back. My partner's going to help me with that. But in any case, yeah, this is really important, along with scrubbing your body, just to make sure you get rid of all the oils. And that allows the spray tan to kind of stick onto your skin as tightly as possible, which gives you an overall natural look. Okay, so speaking about scrubbing, I'm bringing my loofah with me. Okay, this is going to be scrubbed across the entire body. I think you know what this is for. Over here, I have a bunch of clothes. I will still be doing my cardio and training when I'm in Malaysia. Thankfully, the organizers have granted free access to a particular gym for 2 days. So I'm going to be using that gym for my fasted cardio and my training sessions. Yeah, really good stuff. So I'm bringing my clothes with me so that I can get that done. So because I'm going to be sticking to my regular meals, I'm going to be bringing along my protein powder. This one's the banana flavor from Emerald Labs. Not sponsored in any way, but it's just that I really like the flavors a lot. And you know, this is something that's just convenient to bring along. So it's that. This is my pump up band. Okay, I'm going to be talking about how to pump up properly later. But for now, we're just going to look into our miniature roll-on luggage. So over here, this is 5-HTP, and I have a couple of others like melatonin, apigenin, so on and so forth. These are my relaxants for the evening, so I'm able to get a good night's sleep when I'm in a foreign place. carb powder. This is my intro workout carbs. I take about 20 grams in between my training. No, I did not add this in by myself. My coach had put me onto this for the longest time possible. Whether he would remove this or not, I'm not too sure, but we will see. I brought 3 Tupperware boxes, right? Just in case I need to bring out my food with me on the go. And I have a teaspoon in there. Actually, I brought 2 teaspoons with me. These 2 boxes right here. Okay, this one contains the supplements that I will need for Friday, which is tomorrow. And this one it will be for Saturday. I'm not going to go through every single one of the supplements. If you want to know what I take, I did a video, I think 14 weeks out, but I essentially went through all the supplements that I take, and essentially it's what's in there. Except the main difference is that right now I'm on Gorilla Mind's Calm supplement in the evening. That helps me just kind of wind down for the night so that I have a higher chance of getting a good night's sleep. Now, hair products, okay? We have just 2 very simple things, 1 comb and hair gel. I'm not going to be using a hairspray this time around. I don't think it's necessary. We're just going to step on stage, just have fun. I have a little book here, right? Just in case I have a lot of time to spare backstage, I'm going to be using the time to read, elevate my knowledge and whatnot, especially when it comes to business. This is something I'm trying to educate myself on even further. I might even be editing the video as I am backstage in Malaysia. Alright, this is my toothpaste, okay? Again, hygiene, always really important. Toothbrush, toothpaste, okay, general stuff. This is the Manta Sleep Mask, right? Which I will be using backstage. This is just to help me to relax, especially with all the lights being so bright around. I want to just take the time backstage to relax. So all I do is just put this around my eyes, and it basically creates this whole blackout effect. Okay, so that's really nice. Gonna bring that. The most important thing of all, posing shorts, okay? Don't ever forget your posing suits. If you forget any one of these, please don't forget your posing suits. Loose fitting clothing. This is for the spray tan day, okay? Gotta make sure that it's dark colored. You don't want to ruin your shirt. Okay, if you bring a light colored shirt, say goodbye to that. I have a couple of things which I don't have over here, such as my food scale, which is downstairs because I still do need my food scale tomorrow. I don't have my flip-flops, which is actually an essential piece of equipment that I need, especially backstage when the floor is really cold. I will be packing a large hoodie as well, just to kind of make sure I'm warm backstage. That is all I'm going to be bringing with me. So some of you guys may be competing quite soon as well. I'm going to be answering a couple of frequently asked questions backstage. So number 1, what should you do backstage? The most important thing, guys, is to calm down, okay? The work is done. You just show up on the day, relax, close your eyes, do something relaxing, put your headphones on if you want to, watch a light-hearted movie, listen to some music, close your eyes, elevate your feet if you want to, but at the same time be alert to the announcements that are being given backstage. The last thing you want is to miss out when the backstage staff is calling out for athletes of your particular division and your category, and you're not paying attention, and therefore you miss out on your competition. Second thing, be prepared. This is the reason why I bring a roll-on luggage, and I have a list that I tick off every time I put something that I need into this bag, because the last thing that you want is to freak out backstage when you don't have something. When should I pump up? Do I start pumping up the moment I get backstage? No, okay? Too many times I see athletes backstage pumping up for 1 to 2 hours before they step onto stage. You're just gonna fatigue yourself, and by the time you step on the stage, you barely have the strength and energy to pose. Wait until the backstage staff calls up for one category before yours. Okay, so what do I mean by this? So let's say, for example, myself, I'm in the tallest division for men's physique. Okay, let's say category D. I will wait until the backstage staff calls out for category C athletes to line up backstage, and only then do I start pumping up. Okay, how do I pump up? Some people are just doing random stuff like rows with the bands, push-ups, so on and so forth. What is the particular pump-up routine that works? Well, I can't tell you exactly what will work, but what I can say is that you need to look at your own physique and identify which parts are your strongest and which parts are your weakest. And this is something that you should have done in the gym as well. You should be able to see which muscles pump up really easily and which ones don't, and which ones will actually bring up your physique in a positive way. So just because a muscle takes time to pump up doesn't actually mean that you should be pumping up that muscle, because it might not add positively to the overall look. So for myself, I tend to look better when I pump up my arms and my delts. My lats, they kind of flare out pretty easily because that's my strong point, thankfully. So I will be focused more on pumping up my upper frame. So my chest, my shoulders, and my arms. But for you, again, you need to kind of figure that out. So once you figure out which muscles that you are supposed to be pumping up, you will take them through, say, 15 to 20 reps. Or I wouldn't take any of them to failure, by the way. Just 15 to 20 reps, make sure that it's nice and controlled. You're getting blood flow into the area, that's the main point of it. Do it continuously. Then I'll take a short break and I'll do that cycle 2 or 3 more times. That's it. Okay, the whole pump up routine should take no more than 15 minutes. If you do anything more than that, you won't have the strength to pose on stage. Finally, should I carb up backstage? This is a frequently asked question. A lot of people are curious about this because if you ever have the chance to go backstage, you will see a lot of athletes just kind of like checking in with their coaches. They're putting rice cakes, honey, salt, eating bananas, some of them eating potato chips and whatnot backstage. What do? Why are these athletes doing all these kinds of things? And should I do the same thing? The answer is, it depends, okay? But I'm leaning more into not doing much backstage, if I'm being completely honest. Why is that the case? Because the last thing you want is to go out on stage with a bloated stomach because you ate too much or you ate the wrong kinds of food. Okay, even if you didn't eat much, if the food item that you're consuming is not something that your body is used to, you might get bloating, and that won't show very well on stage, especially if you can't contract your core and make it look small. But if you must, you should carb up on some things that your body is already used to, and nothing too fibrous. You want dry carbs backstage, minimal amounts of water, just enough for your body to uptake the carbohydrates. I would pretty much recommend athletes to stop eating about 2 hours before they step onto stage, because frankly speaking, it takes time for the body to digest the food and to absorb the carbohydrates, for it to then travel through the circulatory system to then go into the muscles to then be stored as glycogen, which actually takes a very long time. So you can see that there's not really a point to carb up that much backstage. Any kind of carving up should have happened long before that. And I can talk about that in an entirely different video, but we don't have the time today. So essentially, we want to eat as little as possible backstage. Only what is necessary. And that is why, my friends, okay, we are gonna bring this backstage, okay? I'm gonna rehash again. You need to know what is your ideal stage weight, okay? In the days leading up to the show, you should have already experimented and identified the weight at which you look perfect. The perfect balance between conditioning and shape. Alright? You identify that weight and you only feed up to maintain that weight. Okay? So you should have already known, number one, what is your ideal weight, and number two, how much water, carbs, and sodium is required for you to increase an X amount of weight. And then you just do a bit of math, okay? You eat that amount of carbohydrates, water, and sodium. You make sure the scale stays around the same weight that represents your best look. So that's it for the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this kind of a video, please do leave a like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And please click the bell notification so you get notified every single time I upload a video onto YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next update. Ciao.